Yo, Woods here from Hidden Personas, and today we're going to be talking about the social concept known as small talk. Now, some of you might be asking, what is small talk? Is it important? How can I use it to improve my social skills? Or better yet, for those of you who already know what it is, how can I make it more interesting? Not only will I be answering all of these questions, but I'm also going to be showing you live footage of me engaging in small talk with strangers, and then show you a breakdown of kind of like my mental process of how, I take such a simple question or topic and then I kind of branch off into something more interesting and keep the conversation going. And, giving a natural flow, giving the conversation some character. So stick around because there are definitely some gems in this. And I hope you enjoy what you guys see. Hey guys, let's get into it. So, small talk. A lot of you guys already know what this is, but without a doubt there are going to be some people who don't know, so it's worth going over. Now, small talk, for those of you that don't know or just want to recap, it's basically like, these shallow conversations you normally have with people, in my opinion, that you don't really know all that well. So they could be acquaintances, friends, strangers, and you do have them with friends too, but normally, it'll end up going into something deeper because, you have like a stronger connection with these people as opposed to like someone you literally just walked by or is sitting next to you in class for the first time. So some examples of these are, what's the weather like? How's the weather? Or what did you do over the weekend? Or like some variations of these. Now, they're basically used as an icebreaker, which leads to why I think it's important that, you improve your small talk skills, because if you don't, then you run the risk of having some awkward silences when you're conversing with people. And, that's something that no one really wants to deal with. No one wants to be in any type of awkward situation. So, the last thing you want to do is, maybe be on a date with someone and then you can't keep the conversation going, because inevitably you're going to have to start the conversation off with something. So I didn't want you to just take my word for this. So I decided to go out and find some strangers and ask their opinions for it, or ask their opinions on it. So so here's some footage of some really nice people that were able to share their opinion with me. All right. I guess the question I'm asking is if people think it's useful or if they think it's kind of pointless.
I think it's useful because it actually gets the conversation going.
Yeah.
So it's a conversation starter. That's what it is.
Because I feel like I've met some people who hate small talk. They feel like because it's so shallow that.
No, it is, but I feel like when you're meeting somebody new, especially it's what you got to do. It's not like you're gonna go attack somebody and make them feel awkward by doing something personal.
True. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you about my whole life story and my goldfish died when I was 7 and all that.
Yeah,
you
exactly. I'd be like, okay, you're weird. Move on with your life.
I feel like small talk when it's someone you're just meeting or someone you're just getting to know. But when you've been friends for a year, more than a year, it's weird if you're gonna do small talk.
Yeah.
It's okay to check in and see how they are, but you should also hey, how's this person? How's this? How did this go?
Because you guys are friends.
And you know things now.
To show that you're genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that interaction. I thought it'd be cool to get another opinion instead of you guys always taking mine. And so now I'm going to be going into the actual first-person interactions of me having small talk with strangers. And to have a really authentic one, I'm not going to let them know that I'm recording, so I am going to blur out their faces just out of respect for them. And yeah, and you guys just really need to pay attention to like what's being said. You don't even know what their faces look like. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try going for 2. And for the first one, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple, pretty generic about like weather, how's the weekend, blah, blah, blah. And for the second one, I want to maybe start off with just like a random question, just like random, or I might start off with something basic and try and branch off into something interesting. So we'll see. I'm going to record it with my little phone case, which kind of looks like a camera. And so it's kind of hiding in plain sight. The one thing, since I'm mentioning this, is that this thing tends to get a lot of attention. So I would not be surprised, or don't be surprised, if one of them, or maybe both people, or whatever, however the situation turns out, if they end up commenting on it. So yeah, just random thoughts. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the footage. I do plan on doing like a breakdown of my thoughts, that we can kind of get like a feel of like how I was thinking like in the moment. And I hope it's interesting to you, or I don't know, at least half as interesting to you as it is to me, because I know I love doing these type of things. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll catch you after the video. Okay guys, before we get into this, I did want to say that I like this interaction a lot, so much that I just had to tell them about it. So, you know, I did, and I got their permission to use it. So that's the reason why their faces aren't being blurred. Just wanted to make that clear because the last bit said that I would blur out their faces. So just wanted to clarify that real quick. Hey, how's it going? Cool. Thanks. I'm getting into photography, so it's kind of like motivation to save up for a real one. I told you that someone was going to say something about the camera. I just knew it. It never fails. All right, let's continue. Could I get just an iced tea?
Iced tea?
Yeah.
What size?
I'll go with, yeah, that's a good size.
Black tea, green tea, or brown tea?
Green tea. Okay, guys. So when I had walked inside here and I saw both of these guys behind the cash register, they both gave off like really good body language, and they just seemed really open and they seemed relaxed and whatnot. So I immediately got good vibes from them, and those good vibes were basically confirmed when I had walked over, and you know, one of them had just complimented on my camera case, and it just added to the positive atmosphere, which made me feel like, okay, you know, I could start off asking one of them how their day was, and then I feel pretty positive and, you know, asking a follow-up question, which you'll see in a second, and getting a pretty good response. How's your weekend?
It's Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, but how was your weekend? Yeah.
I worked here a lot. I put in like extra hours.
Oh, okay. So you're working through it.
Yeah. So, which is cool. Got some sleep, so I'm good now.
And you got money.
Exactly.
So you need that to live.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you guys are able to see the positive body language and the good vibes, or the good atmosphere that I was mentioning earlier. Now I'm going to branch off from talking about a pretty generic conversation like what did you do over the weekend, to something more interesting by asking about a music artist you could suggest. Now you could talk about just about anything. It's up to your own creativity. But when you're talking to someone you haven't met, or you have like no connections with, you obviously want to choose something kind of general. That way, it's open for them to, give you a pretty good response, as opposed to talking about something so niche that, they may have no knowledge of it whatsoever. And so, yeah, so let's follow up and see what happens.
So yeah, the screen's gonna walk you through the steps, and then I'll tell you when to swipe.
Okay. Random question. So I'm actually looking for just new music artists. You guys have any recommendations? I'm down for listening to anything.
Claro.
Have you heard of Claro?
Claro?
Yeah. She's my new favorite.
Claro. How do you spell that?
C-L, like Claire?
Claire.
But
Oh,
instead
okay.
of an E, an O.
An O. Oh, okay. Claro.
Yeah. So go to something, yeah, let me write it down.
Sorry, I'm like
No, you're
so
good.
dehydrated. I can't even focus right now.
No, get a drink. Claro, I feel like I should give you more than that.
I mean, that's.
What kind of music do you like? You like hip-hop? You like pop? You like...
Personally, I listen to like a lot of instrumental stuff, but just like chill. Yeah, so I guess like hip hop or.
Right. Have you heard of like a jazz hop type of
Yeah.
music? Okay, you like that?
Yeah, I like that a lot
Okay,
actually.
okay.
But I'll listen to pretty much like anything. Like I'll listen to country, R&B, hip hop, rock.
Okay, so yeah, Claro, and then...
Or,
I know. Yeah, no. Okay, so that's the first one that I would just go to.
okay, no, that's good. That's good.
She's
Claro,
dope.
like, if
She's
you
dope.
put a playlist of her on, you'll find all.
Yeah, I'll just put her on Pandora and then just
Yeah,
chill.
exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, you guys got to see the outcome of that, and I think we can all agree that that was a lot more interesting than just sticking with how's the weather going or what did you do over the weekend and letting it fizzle off there. The really cool thing about this interaction, I wasn't able to get it on camera, was that after I had left, George, I believe was his name, asked what I thought of Claro. And I didn't have my headphones, so I couldn't give him an honest opinion. But, I did check her out, and I liked her a lot, and I'm going to go back and let him know. And then I could just pick up the conversation where it left off and, keep on doing that after a couple weeks, and you have a new friend, just like that. And so now we're going to go into another interaction, but this one's going to be a lot more simpler. It's not going to be as dynamic as this one. Okay, you guys, so I decided to record a session inside an Uber to give you guys kind of like the opposite side of the spectrum. So the previous one was a lot more engaging. There was a lot of personality. And this one is, you're kind of like your standard one where it doesn't really go anywhere. And, this is going to happen when you talk to people. And it could be for any number of reasons. Maybe they just weren't that talkative. Maybe they're shy. It could be an unlimited amount of reasons, but I wanted to show you what happens. So let's continue on. So how's your day going? You enjoying the weather?
Yeah, it's been good. Weather, nice.
You doing anything nice for the weekend or?
This weekend,
Yeah, just work through it.
I'm just working.
I feel like a lot of people have been working through their weekend.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, I ask him a few questions and he does respond, but, they're very short worded and, there isn't too much to go off of. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want to have small talk with another person, or maybe you're just not in the mood for it, this is a really, efficient way of responding to it because it kind of lets the person know, depending on where their social skills lie, that, maybe you just aren't feeling it today. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with this guy. He could be shy. He could just, who knows? There could literally be any number of reasons why, this conversation is happening the way it is. So don't let your mind just think like, oh my God, I'm boring, or, I'm making things awkward, because, your mind will just run all sorts of crazy explanations if you let it. It's just some conversations are going to flow really naturally and some of them might have awkward pauses. It's really that simple. All right, guys, as promised, I delivered on the two interactions. One was really basic and the other one was a little bit more interesting since I decided to ask about like a music artist that, the cashier could suggest. And I actually did end up checking out Clara and she's really cool. So I'm really happy I did that. And I hope this video, taught you some things, or, provided like a little bit more insight in small talk and how it's used and why it's important. And I think it's a really good representation of the type of videos I like to do on this channel. So if you found it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you did subscribe, because I have a whole lot more content on the way. And if you have some ideas for, you know, some type of interactions you'd like me to do, then please leave a comment below. And yeah, I'll catch you guys around for the next video. Later.